Hey, what's up everybody, Boss Sauce here, and today I will show you the quickest and easiest way to get Jagged Alliance 2 working properly with modern resolution support, widescreen, and borderless windowed mode on a Windows 10 machine. We're going to be using the Stracciatella patch to do this. I've played the game quite a bit over the years, and Stracciatella is the closest you can get to the vanilla game experience using the final official version 1.12 game patch, while also providing a couple of modern quality of life convenience features. Now, I'm aware that there is a fan-made version 1.13 game patch, and this patch changes a lot of the game. So I'm not really into that if you want a core experience. Don't get me wrong, the 1.13 patch is very cool, but it adds a lot, changes a lot, and doesn't really quite meet the developer's vision. Now, if you open Jagged Alliance 2 in Steam, just hitting the play button like this, it's gonna come up, and it's gonna look like a tiny little box. So if you're trying to record or stream this, you might have some problems. I believe that the game is running in 640 by 480 resolution, which is positively archaic. It's a game from 1998, it's pretty old. So it'll render the logo all nice, and you'll get this menu screen here, which is giant and chunky. This is showing up full screen on my monitor, but again, it is showing up tiny in OBS or my capture software. So we want to fix that. Also, you'll notice that there's big bars on the left and right because the game is locked to a 4:3 aspect ratio by default. So not much we can do about that without installing the patch. Let's go ahead and quit out of this. One more thing I do want to mention is if you try to alt-tab this game without installing the patch, it'll probably crash. It got me to soft lock a couple times while I was recording this earlier, so, you know, keep that in mind. It's just another reason why the Stracciatella update is super awesome for this. So the first thing you want to do is head to this website here on GitHub. It's ja2-stracciatella.github.io. This is the home page for the mod. And you want to go ahead to the download section, and you'll want to download the appropriate one for your computer. Now I'm going to use the Windows Installer 64-bit option here, but you can see that there's some versions of Windows that it supports before that. There's also a Mac and Linux version, so pretty awesome. They decided to support a whole bunch of platforms for this mod here. Alright, so once you've downloaded Stracciatella, you'll want to install it. Just tell Windows that it's okay to run. This is not malware or anything like that, and you'll get this little tiny screen that says welcome to setup. Go ahead and click next. There's a license agreement, go ahead and click I agree. Choose your install location. If you like to keep your files clean, you can put this in a different place. I'm just gonna leave it as the default. Hit next. And if you want a start menu folder and icon to put down here in your Windows start menu, you can do that here, or you can say, screw that, don't create any shortcuts. I remember where this is gonna go. Hit install. You'll see that it unpacks and it installs. And then if you want, you can just run it right off the installer here. So go ahead and click finish. We're going to have it run. And then you'll get, you'll see this big command prompt thing. You don't need to mess with that. Just leave it open. And you'll get this tiny little window. That's the JA2 Stracciatella launcher. This is the easiest way to get JA2 working with the modernized features. So what you want to do first is head to the data tab. Now, it looks like it already did this for me here since I had it installed previously, but you'll want to make sure that this points to your Jagged Alliance 2 game directory in Steam. Now, on the website, it will say that you need to install the original Jagged Alliance 2 game on your computer. So before you do this, you'll want to make sure that you do have the game installed, but it doesn't need to be the original Jagged Alliance 2 game. I'm using the Steam version and it works perfectly. So make sure you do a full install if you're using the actual game discs. I think it's a lot more convenient to just install the Steam version since you don't have to hunt down your 23-year-old game discs or whatever, but you do you. So once you've installed the game, you've installed Stracciatella, you want to make sure that it is pointing to the proper directory in your Steam folder. If you want to get the path, just click here and copy this. And then you'll want to go ahead and paste that right here, so that Stracciatella knows where to find the game. And click the save button, and that'll save your settings. And second thing you want to do is make sure you have the proper game version selected. So if you have a different version other than the English version, you want to make sure you pick that here, otherwise it's just not going to work. If you have any mods that you installed, you can also enable them right here if you want, so that's pretty cool. So the next thing you want to do is mess with the game's resolution. So this will change depending on the resolution of your monitor. I messed with this a bunch and I found that the ideal widescreen format for my 2K monitor was about 1280 by 720. And this is going to scale the pixels without it being too tiny to see all the objects, and it'll still work in widescreen. So there are a few predefined ones here. You can also define a custom resolution by typing it into these boxes if you have a different monitor than that. I left it at here, at the 720p option here, and that seems to work pretty good. You want it to run full screen and play sounds, that's up to you. I want sounds. I like the sounds and the voices in this game a ton, so definitely want that. Once you have all this, make sure you click save again, and then you'll want to hit play JA2 Stracciatella. And you'll already see a little bit of a difference. The intro videos and the in-game cutscenes are all going to work in still 4:3 because that's how they were rendered. You'll also see that the menus are 4:3 as well here, but you can now move your cursor outside of the boundary. How interesting. I'll pick a save file, and this is how it looks in 1280 by 720 resolution. So I think this is pretty much ideal. You can still read all the text. You can see if there's a landmine, you know, like these little blue markers, they're pretty easy to spot still. And if there's items on the ground, like this assault rifle over here, you can still see those pretty clearly and see what it is. That's a Mini 14, and pick that up if you need to. This is probably the ideal experience for running it in widescreen. If I Alt-tab this now, it doesn't crash, and you can see that it's working just fine. Now, the one thing that might bother some people is it will move over the control panel down here. So that's kind of a bummer, but if you want that centered, I don't know. I think there's some ways to tweak it in other patches or mods, but I didn't really mess with it. I didn't worry about it. This works fine for me. So you can see this is now working fine, and there you have it. Go kill yourself some evil mercenaries. Have fun. Now, I haven't had the chance to try this out with Unfinished Business, which is the Jagged Alliance 2 expansion pack. That does come with Jagged Alliance 2 Gold, which is available, I believe, on Steam and GOG for a pretty comparable prices. And again, if you found this video helpful or like what we do here on Two-Headed Hero, please consider throwing us a sub and a comment and a little thumbs up if you wanna. And we'll see you on the next Two-Headed Hero episode. Have a great one, everyone.